technology. Welcome to Birds and Feathers. This is AJ, Suburban Princess, trying a new format, as you can tell. And in the corner on my other side, you'll see Eddie B. What's up, Eddie?
What's up, AJ? How you doing?
All right, we're trying this different. We wanted to see some visual of us. It's the first time we're doing this visually besides our live on YouTube. So, what do you think? I think it looks nice.
I think it looks good. It's great.
All right, so basically what I want to talk about for this TGIF, since we don't have any sports to watch right now other than probably the Phillies, but who cares, is obviously the Sixers getting through the first round and winning last night. What was your impressions of the first round versus the Wizards?
First round, you know what? They did what they were supposed to. They dominated a team that they're supposed to be better than. And that was what I wanted to see. Granted, Game 4 wasn't, we didn't get the sweep, but a lot of things happened in that Game 4, and that kind of stopped that from happening. So,
absolutely,
I think they looked good by making adjustments for Game 5. People were worried. I wasn't worried about Game 5 because I was like, you know what? They know that they can win without Embiid, because that whole stretch during the end of the season when they didn't have him for was it 2 weeks or something?
Yeah,
that was great because you know what? That gave them that confidence that they can actually play without them. And
right.
You saw it. I mean, and look, they're 2-1 against the Hawks this year.
See, I didn't remember them winning more than once, but maybe they did win again. But yeah, I know they played
and they did that in each one of those games. It was never. Embiid and Ben both weren't in those games together.
That's right, because Ben was sick for a while.
One was out, and at least one of them was out in 3 of those games. So
Ben was gone for like a week, and
Embiid was out for a minute too. So I mean, if everybody steps up and does their part, it's not going to be as. It's not going to be as easy, but I think they can. Honestly, I think they can beat the Hawks in 6.
Hawks even in 6 sounds good to me, but I think I wouldn't be shocked if they even go a game earlier, or
they could.
They could, because what was my biggest shock was the fact that they started using Maxey earlier as the series went on. I was happy to see it because you can tell he was ready for the moment. Yeah,
and I like Ben. I like Ben in that 5 position. That him playing in the center is dominating in the middle. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it worked. And then he also had Thibault out there. The two of them on the floor at the same time is a problem for most teams.
It is.
But defensively, it frustrates guys.
Pisses people off.
It frustrates guys. It frustrates the hell out of them. You saw, Bill's going to, and Trae Young's going to get his points.
Yeah.
We know that.
We know.
But you just got to quiet him enough that, you can... that you'll be able to, just be aggressive and keep driving into the paint, get these guys in foul trouble, just like they did against the Wizards. So.
And we saw also too with Beal. Beal is obviously going to get a basket no matter what. He was pulling it up. So that's why I say, like you said, with Trae, you're going to have to just accept the fact that he's always going to get a crazy basket.
He's going to eat. He's going to eat. That's it's going to happen. There's nothing
going to
really do about it. So,
and he's cocky with his balding self.
Yeah, his balding, Brillo pad looking hair.
Oh God, it's so annoying to me. I'm just like, dude, everybody's losing their hair in the middle. I get it, but just at least trim.
Or give up. Just give up on it. Just cut it.
Stop holding on to it.
AJ, I'll tell you right now, the minute I go bald, I'm cutting it all off again. When my hair starts going,
I don't want that island. Yeah. I'm cutting it. I don't want that island in the back and people looking at me like you got 5 eyeballs in the back of your head, like sitting there going, "Don't you feel cold?" Anyway, so what was the biggest shock to you once they found out Embiid had that injury? Was it more just like the timing of it, or was it just how it happened?
It happened. It was crazy how it happened. And it was crazy that on that play the whistles were silent.
Yeah,
Lopez kind of knocked him to the ground, and they called less during that series, especially on the Sixers. I've seen plays. The Sixers hit the ball first, and they tapped the guy, and they called a foul. I thought, you hit the ball first, how's that a foul?
I think there were a couple of fouls that I questioned just because sometimes you could tell they also didn't get the right player. Well, I think one time they had a foul, and Seth was on the bench, and they said it was his number. And I was like, he wasn't on the court.
Well, that Game 4, when Ben got in foul trouble early.
Yeah, early. Three fouls.
The guy on the other side of the court called a foul. and couldn't even see what was going on. And you look at it, and Bill, whoever it was, just fell over. Nobody touched him. You know, and even in the last game, Bill tripped over his own feet, and they called Ben with the foul. Ben didn't even touch him. He wasn't. If you look at the different camera angle, he doesn't even touch him.
And well, the announcers said that plenty of times. You know, Allah and Zoo, they said plenty of times themselves. I think they had to restrain themselves actually by Game 5 to not cut the refs too much.
You know what they need to start doing though? They need to do what NFL refs do. When there's a play and there's a foul like that, and they got to come together and say, okay, no, I saw it from this side. It didn't happen. They have to start doing that because it's ridiculous. If the person standing in front of the play is silent, doesn't say anything, but the person behind them can't even see what's going on, calls the foul from what they see from behind.
Right.
It's crazy, and they still let it stand. They got to stop that in every game. Officiating in this league has been terrible this past year.
It has been, and you kind of wonder if it's like what they were saying with the NFL refs last season about, like, do we have substitute refs in that just don't know the rules, or you just have a lot of old guys who just don't want to bother doing their
or old guys are retiring
research.
Too. You know,
right, they just don't give a crap.
Yeah, and you got the new guys coming in.
They clearly have something against Dwight.
Oh my God!
You see how many times Dwight got fouls. You know, it was just he had to laugh at it. Like I think he was being really good last night, honestly. And I think,
and they still call him for dumb stuff.
They still call for dumb stuff.
He's like the guy they love to hate. You know?
Yeah, it is. And you know what? I wonder if it's just because he always had that kind of reputation as that big guy that hasn't won a championship. So I can always tell how refs go because the team that seems like they should be winning the game is all of a sudden get the most fouls, and I don't feel like that's any different from NFL. You know, it's almost like the calls just start going against him on purpose. You know?
But I'm glad he's laughing it off and not like reacting.
Yeah,
because that's showing. I mean, that's showing that he's kind of maturing a little bit when it comes to that. Because you know what? Hey, he's got to be that calming voice on the team because him and Danny Green, they both have rings. You know.
Yeah, they do.
And
three,
they have
three for Danny.
Yeah, 3 for Danny. Yeah, and they have to help these young guys. You know, keep in that mindset of okay, things not gonna always go your way, but you just got to keep pushing.
And speaking of mindset, Shake, what do you think has happened to him during this first round? Like, why do you think he's not as
well, you saw
fearless?
Even the last few games of the season, he hasn't been himself. I don't know what's going on.
You think it is in the mind?
Yeah, he hasn't been that 20-point scorer that we needed off the bench. You know, I mean, okay, if it starts coming from, and I'm okay if he starts playing a different role, and then everybody else steps up. That's okay. That's okay too. But we do need him when it's his time. He's got to do it. You know, because
he's got those long arms. How do you not? You know, sometimes it just seems like he doesn't know when he fouls and how he fouls that quickly. And it's like, Shake, you were leaning into the guy. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Thank God Maxey has turned it on, and so is Mr. Inconsistent.
Oh my God.
Korkmaz is actually
he's still no D, but then he comes in and hits that three when you need it.
He wakes up. He's woken up in the playoffs a little bit. So
he has.
Hey, if we can keep that, if he can keep that play out of him, I'm okay with that. But you know, he's still inconsistent most of the time. But,
he's still not my favorite, but I can't even blame him because he came in at times when they needed him.
He is coming in cold most of the time, but hey.
Very much. But I mean, that's how you learn. I mean, when you have... Here's the thing that burned me up about 4. I wanted them to sweep, but I'm not shocked that they didn't. But what pissed me off was, just as Embiid went down, almost like every time he goes down, the whole team gets disheveled, and suddenly everybody forgets where they're supposed to be because Embiid's out. They need to work on recouping faster in a playoff game. Because that's the only reason why they lost. That's the only reason. They almost won that game.
Yeah, they started clicking, but... Then the momentum got kind of shunted a bit by when these stupid calls started coming in. And,
that's the main thing, because half those calls even came when Maxey was on a hot streak, and if he had made that one layup...
They were pushing. And then...
He missed that layup, and then he didn't hit that three.
Doc was furious.
The time that he did the fold over on the table, like where his back is to the camera.
And he sat right on the scoring table. I was cracking up.
He was just like, Jesus.
He literally just
you could tell.
He literally just sat right on the table and was like, just staring at the refs like, oh, God.
I don't know what you're looking at. Yeah, you see why all the GIFs on him on Twitter are famous, because he has the face of a coach who's frustrated, like,
well, he will let you know how he feels, so that's just how he is. And I'm kind of glad Sam Cassell's there, because Cassell's is kind of like his buffer. He kind of stops him sometimes,
Cassell is hilarious.
You saw him run up the one time. He was like, put his hand on his chest, like, yo, stop, chill, don't get thrown out right now.
Cassell is the best person to watch during regular season too, because even when the calls he didn't like, he was the first to jump up and be like, "Oh man." Yeah. And I was just like, yes.
I thought he was going to get mad and put a jersey on and run out there himself.
Look, I was about to say, you're going to make me forget myself and forget how old I am and run up here. I'll show you a foul.
He's like, I'll give you the best half-court game I can give you, right?
Exactly. I might be able to hit that one thing as soon as you want to call another foul on this guy for no reason. But...
Like, don't expect me to play defense, right?
Right. And that's so that's a good way to introduce the reason why I'm pining for Beal to come here. I feel like the rapport he has with the Sixers was even more than he did for his own team.
Yeah, you know what? I noticed that.
He talked a lot to the players.
He likes the Sixers players. He's always laughing with them, talking to them.
Yeah, when the fan came out and then he started chatting with Matisse before Matisse came in, when that fan, got attacked.
But he got tackled at the at the base.
I feel like a dummy because he went to grab the board and then he fell, and the next thing you know, and Dwight walks over to the guy like. I
got to give it to security guards. So they were on him quick. Because he
didn't
even make it out to court. Like, he almost did, but the only reason why he fell on the court because they tackled him onto it.
They tackled him and he went back because I think his whole point was because all the people who had different angles that put their videos on Twitter were like, yo, he was on my side. They said he just wanted to run up and grab the backboard and I guess run back to his seat, and in the process of trying to turn around, the guy got him. So now, either way, it's stupid. Why are you stopping a game for that?
And now you can never go back to any other game.
Never go back. And what if they aren't his tickets? This is what I worry about all these fans. You're probably messing up somebody else's tickets, so now they can't come back, which even sucks even more.
Well, do they hold that against the person who has a season ticket holder, or are they?
I don't know, but I'm just saying,
or they just ban that person.
That's what I'm thinking. Is because the tickets look to that person's name. It's not like they tell you the guest name for that ticket. True. You know what I'm saying?
But when they arrest him, they'll have his name. So
they'll have his name, but they'll match up addresses, and if he's happen to be a bratty kid that lives with that person, they just couldn't make it.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. That's the stuff to me that happens. That's why some of the dumb fans are young, because some of them are just there thinking they're going to do something funny, and that's it. And no, it stops the whole game.
I would have to take you
creates
outside.
A whole mess. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm losing my season tickets. I'm going to take you outside and whoop your ass a little bit.
Look, if I'm the person you messed up, I'm going to complain to them to the highest rank and be like, look, I should not have to pay for someone else's stupid, mistake.
Great.
That wouldn't have been me. I wouldn't have did that. I've been a season ticket holder. My dumb brother decided to do this. Please don't penalize me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we're getting to a point now where I think that some people still have not adjusted since quarantine, and clearly they are either trying to make it ESPN real, or they're making way for somebody who's actually nuts, who might be tased trying to get a player. So that's what I get nervous about.
Well, the fans.
But all in all, who do you feel like into this next round? Because the first game is Saturday at 1, and I did look at prices, Eddie, and the price on the level that I was at for the season finale game. You're lucky if you get anything below $600.
Oof.
225 was the 117. I was in 114. The 117 section, for some reason, some tickets were like as low as 225. But I'm like,
I remember spending
for just me.
I remember spending that much. I remember going to the Toronto game. Back when they were the run against when they went to the finals against the Lakers, and I was at the Toronto game when McKee got a 6-man award and Wilson got his MVP, and Iverson got his MVP, and he dropped 50 points that night. I was at that game. That was crazy.
I'm sure it was.
I spent. Oh my God! I took Warren with me. God bless his soul. I took him with me, and me and him went. Had a great time. Well, I mean, those tickets were like, what? Almost, maybe $150 a pop.
See, that's not even bad. Because the 225, I even thought about it.
But that was also like 20 years ago, too. So.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said the cheapest ticket I saw, even just because you get the email for people who want to try the pre-sale. So I saw the email and I said, I'm just curious. And courtside, I never even think about, like,
whatever.
No. Never doing courtside. $625, starting at $665.
Yeah.
But... yeah, no, I think that if you go to an event like that, you either got to know somebody, and the most I'll ever spend is maybe $225. But at the most, by myself, I'm not buying for both tickets. I'm just by myself. Hell freaking no! You better give me that money pronto as soon as I hit send.
Yeah, right.
That shit better be in my Venmo.
Venmo better be hitting right off the
I'm saying, and it better be 2 days before the end of the week because I want that stuff to be in there before that business day. But so here's the thing that I've learned from this whole season is that this coach definitely works with this team. That's clear. I think what was missing, obviously, with Brett Brown was that I didn't think he thought well in situational basketball situations, whereas I think the players are more communicative with each other. As you notice, a lot of the players talk to each other. Like, you see Danny Green, you see even Ben making more communication. Like, Ben used to never talk. They used to just kind of look at each other and just be like, whatever. Now you notice everybody stops each other and talks. Maxey has definitely been a catalyst for the veterans, because I think that before it was probably just maybe you see Embiid talking every now and then, or instruction, but I really do think Maxey has so much swag for a rookie at 20 years old that I think now he's making even the bench go, I gotta step my shit up. Like, this kid's going. I mean, he literally was puffed out last night, and that was the beginning of the game.
And that's good. That's what we need.
It's very good.
We need somebody to be that fire off the bench.
Yeah.
And that's.
Have you ever seen that though from anybody you can think of besides Iverson, obviously, because Iverson was always fearless. But I haven't seen anybody that impressive so early in their career.
Yeah, I mean that's tough. I mean it's very hard. I mean, unless you see a guy who's a starter, unless you see a guy who's coming in as a starter, that's different.
Right. And that's different. But he plays like a starter.
Coming off the bench. I mean, he has limited minutes.
Right.
And he's still keeping that energy, so that's good. So. And
we hope he keeps it again. I wouldn't even be shocked.
I think he will. I think he got a taste of it, and I think he loves it. I mean, look how they were having fun. Look like they were having fun. Legitimate fun.
He was having fun, especially on that last shot he hit before they went to timeout or whatever. You could tell he was jumping up and down like, oh yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, like him and Ben doing alley-oops together, like just
yes.
And then he alley-ooped to Dwight. Yeah, he got Dwight.
Him and Dwight, right?
Yeah, so
he hit Dwight. That's a good feeling when you can create that vibe. And even shout out to Toby. I think Tobias has grown.
Oh my God, he's
less timid.
He's that guy. He's what we wanted him to be. This year. This year, this is what we were claiming for him to be last year. That guy who got the max contract that we gave all that money to. He's actually shown, okay, I'm putting up 20 points, at least 20 points a game.
Right.
And now he's doing it in the playoffs. He's showing leadership. He's showing all that stuff. And
I like it.
Yeah.
I agree. He should have been an all-star, though. I do believe he was.
Yeah, he should have been. Yeah, he was. And
look at
Ben answering all the haters. I love it.
All the haters.
I love it.
Because here's the thing.
People keep talking about it. That's what I want to.
They keep, and it's good.
Just keep it.
Just keep hating them because you stay consistent. Don't switch it over here. Just like he said the last time people booed him. It's like, don't switch. Just stay where you are.
Yeah, keep that energy.
Keep that same energy. Yeah, because honestly, as soon as that coach realized that Ben was going to make both those free throws, he was like, because they could tell the hack of Ben thing doesn't work.
You saw they kind of stepped away from that plan. They didn't do it as much. Yeah, because
he wasn't afraid.
It was like, wait, he's calmed down a little bit. I think.
Yeah,
and he's actually making them. Well, he actually showed him before the game. He's actually out there practicing, putting the work.
Yeah, he was there early.
Yeah, they showed a video. I saw D. Lynam's live video of him, like, just throwing up shots, like, just practicing. And I was like...
And there's no shame in sitting there waiting. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with standing there. Because you see now him and Embiid both kind of take a minute to look at the basket, you know.
Focus in,
and Embiid hits everything, so I don't even know why Embiid pauses, because he does without thinking.
But that's your routine. That's your routine. You keep your routine. Right. These guys have their routine when they get up to the foul line.
Yeah, and I agree with Dwight. You got to bend your knees. I think that also is part of Ben's problem. Sometimes he forgets to bend his knees and keep his elbows in to make the shot. But he can make them. See, this is the only thing that drives me crazy with people who criticize him. I'm like, don't act like he doesn't make them. He just doesn't make them all the time.
Because actually this year, he's been a drastically improved free throw shooter this year.
For free throw, yeah. Because he was making 4 for 4 almost every other night he had an opportunity. Yeah,
his percentage definitely went up this year. So.
Right. This is where people kill me with the revisionist history. It's no different from how they treated Carson Wentz. They try to act like he didn't do anything for us. Yeah. Just because he failed the last year or so. Yeah, whatever.
He makes the game different.
You have to look at the whole picture.
Yeah,
right, he does.
When he's in there, the game is different. And hey,
the energy is different.
Yeah, I loved how he's like, I mean, he's bullying these other players, these other point guards. Like,
you see how he almost cussed Westbrook out because Westbrook had grabbed him twice before that last foul?
Oh, I still love when he went and dunked. Was he dunked on Westbrook? Or made a move on Westbrook, and he did the too small thing.
I know Maxey knocked the ball out of Westbrook's hand.
No, when he
Maxey had fear.
No, when he did the whole I think he either dunked it or he just did a layup, went right right up against him. He couldn't stop him.
Right at him.
And he ran backwards doing the too small thing with his hand on the ground. I loved it.
Yeah.
It looked looking
I think
right
that was game 4.
Looking right at Westbrook
and
was like too small. I was like, that's right. You drive the shit at him every time. Every time.
It just kills me. I mean, I don't know what the Wizards are going to do at this point as far as their team, but I hope that something can work out where Bradley decides to leave, because I don't see him. He's been frustrated all season up until this point.
That team, it sucks. They should be better, but
they should
because Westbrook is a good player, but it just seems like nobody wants to play with him.
Well, he's also selfish.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the times that he creates a lot of, complaining and all that crap. It's just for his
look how
ego.
him and Harden didn't work
team.
out together.
Yeah,
and they played together before, which was sad. Yeah.
Yeah, OKC. I know OKC. Thinking of all the guys at OKC that I look back that I didn't even realize that.
I love that
team.
Kevin that was a great team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know that they all started there together. That's why it's funny how
that team was KD.
Each one has gotten close.
Yeah, KD and Baca, Westbrook, Harden,
Chris Paul,
and Perkins. That was
Chris Paul.
Well, during that playoff run, it was Perkins, I think. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, my point is how far they've come that KD's the only one out of them who has had a ring. You know what I mean? So at this point, KD's just being KD. I think he just needed the proper spacing. I wish he would have been able to stay with the Warriors, but I mean, that's how that crap goes.
Yeah.
But I'm still not scared of the Nets. How do you feel? Just to end it.
Honestly, I'm not scared of them. I mean, because you know what the thing is. All right, so me and somebody were talking about this today, and how there are not many teams in these in the second round that play defense.
Sure.
One of them, and one of the teams that actually really plays defense just got eliminated yesterday. The Lakers played D.
Yep.
Like this Portland and Phoenix series, it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be like 150 to 140 score.
Phoenix already won, so Portland's done.
Yeah, so I mean,
Portland's out, which is sad for me for Dame, because Dame has been playing his ass off.
Yeah, but the Nuggets and Suns it's going to be a shootout.
That's interesting.
Because neither one of those teams play defense. And so
no, it's fascinating to see the Utah Jazz and going this far.
And I think and the thing is, in teams like that, like the Nets, you're not going to beat them going shot for shot. You got to beat them up. You got to bully them. You got to frustrate them. You got to play defense against them. Because you're not going to go in shot for them. It's not going to work. You got to take one of the guys out of the equation. And
you have to create frustration. That's where Matisse and the other guys that play D will work, because we can't stop the long arm ball, all that stuff. So just get in their face, and eventually they just get tired.
Make them frustrated. Yeah, exactly.
Right, and that's the point. And so my whole thing is, the fans that were chanting, "We want
Brooklyn." I was like.
My first thought was like, okay, that's true, but y'all can't ignore this next series, and that just made us seem like we were acting like we knew that they were the next opponent, and that just made us feel so dumb as a fan base.
And
I was like, we don't want Brooklyn, we want New York to win at that moment, but they didn't.
I kind of wanted New York to win one more game to give them more day to rest.
Me too.
Force another game.
I was hoping to.
But I mean, he's had a couple days now, so I mean. We'll see. I mean, they said he looks. I don't know if you were listening. Did you listen to Mikey Miss yesterday? Or
a little bit off and on,
I forgot. Somebody was on. One of the guys from.
Somebody did mention
the Sixers. Who was on there was saying he was walking normally. I mean, he had a brace on. He was walking normal. He instead of doing like a light workout, he was actually doing shoot arounds. He was doing like drills. And they said he didn't look like he was in pain. He looked comfortable. He looked comfortable.
Until he gets contact, that's what they're worried about. I'm sure.
Yeah. So I mean that's different. But hey, if he can do these drills without looking like he's uncomfortable, that's good. That's a good start right there. So.
Well, I look at it like, is it Saturday or Sunday?
It's Sunday,
Saturday, right?
Sunday.
Sunday, okay, at 1:00. Okay. So my whole thing is by Sunday, to me, he should be probable. He should at least be probable. And my whole thing is you do not have to play him all.
No, you give him limited minutes. Give him limited minutes.
Right. And this has been unfortunately, this has been his career. So this is nothing new to us.
But you don't want to
risk.
You don't want to risk a worse tear.
No, I don't want to. I don't. That's why I say you take him out as soon as he gets maybe a foul shot or two, and then be like, all right, you've been in there for 20 minutes. Come on out.
Yeah, put him at the 20, and then maybe if you still need him, 15 in the second half of the game.
I was going to say before halftime.
Yeah, I mean,
just go when there's an actual lull, and before you put in the second half, the bench.
Yeah,
squeeze them in there in between when they start dropping in momentum. Because, like you said, without Ben for that week or so, you notice that the momentum was very sluggish for the team. So people say they want to trade Ben, but I'm like, without Ben, he doesn't create that speed and that spacing that they need. Yeah. Because Embiid doesn't have that speed, never did. And even if Maxey does, he's going to at some point need to tame how fast he goes right to the basket because he's young. You don't want to burn him out. So people don't realize that every player has a point, and without them, you don't have that same synergy. So that's why every time there's someone missing, there's a challenge to get. But they're valuable. Everybody's valuable, and I'm proud of them. They even got to this far. Now we've been here for the second round. Now they got to get past the second round. This is the goal now. Yeah. Because they almost got there with Jimmy, and honestly, if Embiid wasn't sick, that game probably would have. They were
a bounce away from.
Literally a quadruple bounce away. And I just hope if that happens, it works in our favor this week and not against us, because that was no difference from the double doink game, that the Eagles won in Chicago. Yeah. It was that same feeling of like, Anyway, yes. But see, this is how this is. We're going to do this format every now and then and switch it back up to just audio, but I figured we'd try this Riverside.fm format, which I like. And you like, of course. I can tell we're comfortable with this already. Yeah. Next time we're going to talk about how the second round is going. I think we should pod next time, like after that third or fourth game, to see how we feel like it's going to. Okay. If this is the end of the road, because I feel like by then we'll know if they've kind of changed. Because to me, the growth will be if they get past that, because they went all the way to 7 with the second round 2-3 years ago. So now they have to get past the next, whatever's the next round. So I say it's going to be after the 4th or 5th game. They'll be ready to wrap it up in a bow. I'm not afraid of Trey, but I know that if Trey's teammates work with him and we have any gaps of judgment too many times, that's the only time that they could possibly get at least neck and neck in the playoff. But I don't think it'll be at the most maybe a 2-2, and then just have to come down to those last 2 games. Yeah. But I really wouldn't also be shocked if they go 4-1 against them. Like maybe just Hawks just tap out after like the second or third game, and they realize that the Sixers aren't scared.
I just want them to put their foot in the gas.
They're not bitches anymore.
Yeah. I just want them to put their foot in the gas and keep it there.
That's what I'm saying. Like once you know how to use the rookies in a way that you don't burn them out, and then you also know how to use the vets, especially Embiid, in precious times in the game, then it's all basically chess. I mean, like you said, I can see why people say it's all chess and checkers.
And that's the one thing that Doc is good at, opposed to Brown.
Right. And obviously, because there's the communication factor is something that I don't think Brown stressed enough in a way that translated. And I think that Doc is basically saying, if you look like shit, you're going to play like shit. Yeah. So I think that's clear that most of these guys know if you look like shit, don't stay on the court. Come out early. But that's good. So thank you, though, for Birds of a Feather. Once again, this is our new format. Thank you, Eddie B. And we will definitely be back with another one. We'll be talking about our Sixers because we do plan on seeing them in the third round for the conference finals.
Sure.
Take care.